So I got some more done on the car tonight and noticed that the other day when I had it out that it had some driveline vibrations, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, whether it was like a wheel out of balance or drive shaft issue or something like that. So I crawled under it and I noticed that there was transmission fluid getting splattered around everywhere, and the drive shaft wasn't really seated into the trans very far. So I'm pretty much made the culprit that my drive shaft was too short, or the yoke was too short. So I actually went to the junkyard and got a longer yoke. It's about 1.5 inches longer of a yoke, and I threw that in, and the drive shaft is nice and tight now. There's no movement while it's seated into the trans. It's not fully seated into the trans either, so it's not going to break the case or anything like that. So I got that dialed in now, and now I'm working on doing some exhaust on it, because before all I had was tractor mufflers welded onto the end of the headers, and the exhaust was coming into the car so bad that I had to hang my head out the window just to drive it at some points, because I'd be getting high off exhaust fumes. So yeah, I'll show you kind of what I got going on here. Also, when I made this cross member here, the plate was sticking out too far, so I couldn't fit exhaust through here. So I ended it pretty much right here, and the boot to come into the floor is right there. So the exhaust just went literally right up into the car. So I'm trying to extend it to, like, just a little farther for the time being before I boost this thing. I just want to make sure the motor and everything's going to be good and all that. So yeah, fancy ass tractor mufflers right there from Fleet Farm. But the drive shaft is in now and seated very good. I'm pretty confident that that's going to work a lot better, and it's going to get rid of my vibration. I also discovered some more issues with the car the other day when I was tuning it, that the tune was super sporadic and would not hold consistency whatsoever. And I actually ended up swapping out the injectors that I decapped, and I put in factory fuel injectors just to kind of eliminate me decapping them as an issue, because I know some people have had issues with decapped injectors where some of them will flow 70 pounds and the others will flow 40 pounds. So if you got inconsistencies with injectors like that, it's definitely going to skew your tune all this shit too. So you'll be chasing your tail for hours trying to tune it out, which I was. So I threw in the stock fuel injectors yesterday, and I tuned it for about 2 minutes, and it's 1,000 times better already. So I'm pretty much blaming that as the issue. But I also picked up some, these are flex fuel injectors, I believe. These ones, they come out of like a, I don't know, like an 04 Tahoe or whatever, the fancy Chevys that have flex fuel built in factory. And I believe they're like a 38-pound injector before you decap them. And when you decap them, I'm going to send them to some guy that Sloppy Mechanics recommended named Eric Durr. And I'm going to have him flow the injectors that I had in the car to see if those were really the issue. And then I'm also going to have all these ones decapped, so I can have a matching set of the flex fuel ones that all flow good, and a matching set of the regular truck injectors as well. Figured I'd give you a view of my exhaust that I currently have on the Chevy Stang, the Ford Camaro. Yeah, I would say John Deere would be proud. This is actually a tractor muffler from Fleet Farm. I totally just made this temporary so I can get it past the shifter boot so I don't breathe in exhaust all the damn time. And I could give a shit what it looks like or how small the pipe is. I really don't care. I spent like $15 doing it, and it's gonna make me not die while I drive the car. So I don't know if I told anybody this, but I am using factory Silverado truck exhaust manifolds in a Fox body with the stock K member, and I'm going to show you how I made them work. A lot of times, people never would do something like this because it's going to restrict the flow too much, or could talk. People would never. Why would you use a stock truck manifold when you can just buy an F-body or whatever the hell manifold actually fits in the car? Why would you use a truck one? And I say because I'm not spending money on this damn thing, because I feel like the more money you spend on a project, the less fun you have. And when you can make something work for pennies on the dollar, I don't know, I feel like it's just more gratifying at the end of the day when you beat somebody that sticks 30 grand into their car and you stick like $3,000 into your car. So anyways, this is actually, it's kind of easier to show you on this side. So that's the truck manifold, and I cut the flange off and welded a pipe and filled the gaps. Now this side is definitely a lot more difficult because the steering shaft is right there. But once again, I made it work. Come on, look at this true dual exhaust. America. This screams bald eagles all over it. Even the shifter cable's rubbing right on it and everything, you know? Look at that. Come down here, this is that bend I just showed you. The exhaust sounds pretty good. I think I got everything on the car pretty much dialed in now. I got the exhaust extended, so it's not coming in the car as much. And I got this drive shaft issue figured out. I think it's not vibrating anymore. And yeah, so now I'm just taking it over to my buddy's house. And we are heading out to the Oshkosh EAA Air Venture. It's a huge, one of the biggest air shows in the country, I believe. And yeah. Should be a pretty good time. Woo, getting squirrely. I don't have any wipers on this thing and it's raining, so I'm glad I'm only driving like a mile down the road to my buddies. So yeah, I will pick up when we get to the air show. This is like the R or something.
From which American planes first bombed Tokyo. Here is that secret airfield. 16 B-25s, twin-motored Army bombers, lashed to the Hornet's flight deck. The dramatic saga of a combined Army-Navy mission that brought panic to Japan and stirred the world for its brilliance and daring. Colonel Doolittle, now a major general, assembles his 80 volunteers before the flight. Not until this moment is their objective revealed. The heart
Maybe we can walk up a little closer, huh?
ascending. Then they reach a mountainous area. All right, lighting up the nighttime sky with a vapor barrier. That is a photo opportunity. This is Oshkosh, and that's the way our military pilots do it here. So it's actually done in about 2.5 Gs. It's hard to believe, but they're actually doing over 200 miles an hour right now. And that's right, while you're watching the aero show team, give those Paradigm boys a big round of applause as they walk by. What a great show they did tonight. Great job, guys. He's getting smaller though.
Just got back from the EAA Air Venture, and I haven't been there in a couple years, and it was definitely something cool to go to after, you know, not being there for a while. I feel like everybody in my city absolutely hates EAA because the city becomes a complete traffic jam all the time, and every freaking restaurant you go to is completely packed, and you can't pretty much travel anywhere in the city because people literally come from all over the world to come to this air show. I think it's actually the largest in the world, which is pretty cool that it's literally 5 minutes from my house. So, but yeah, we had some clips of some like B-51 bomber planes that drop fake bombs like they're in a war scene, and I forgot what else would happen. The ultralights are pretty cool. It's like pretty much like a kite with a motor on it and a fan, and you just go whipping up in the sky. So that's pretty sweet too. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the footage of EAA Air Venture. Sorry I didn't really talk much when we were there. It was super loud and you couldn't really hear much. But yeah. So yeah, till next time guys, thank you for watching the video, and subscribe if you're new, and like the video if you like it. Have a good day.